With each day that passes, we grow a little older. As we go through our daily activities, we spend time throughout each day recalling, remembering, and reminiscing. We recall how to get to work, we remember that we like a particular kind of coffee, and we might reminisce about the weekend's events and how much we enjoyed our time with a special person. When we think back on a particular moment, we're accessing a younger version of ourselves. It's really easy to do. Remember for a moment the interview process you went through to get your current job, or making plans by phoning friends, or making reservations to go somewhere. All of these memories are recalled to the present moment by stepping into a younger version of ourselves. We can also recall our childhood memories, those that leave us grinning from ear to ear, and others that might leave us feeling hurt or angry, and maybe even some memories we prefer to place in a corner and walk away from. In the same way that we can easily recall younger versions of ourselves, we are equally able to step into future versions of ourselves. We simply need to imagine what something would be like. It's using the what if model. What if I were 10 pounds lighter? What if I worked for this company? What if I lived in this city? These are all examples of us choosing to experience our future selves by imagining the possibility of something different. Even the what ifs that are coded in worry. What if I don't get the promotion? What if she doesn't call me back? What if my kids don't get accepted to this school? When we imagine something in the future, we're telling ourselves a story. And when we recall a memory, that is also a story. In fact, I believe that every thought is really a story we're telling ourselves. Telling ourselves a story about anything is a great way to hear our own beliefs. And when we can hear our own beliefs and notice the experiences we're having, we have the opportunity to change our story, to change our thoughts. When we tell ourselves that something is either good or bad, we're actually describing in detail our belief structures to others and, more importantly, to ourselves. That is why it is critical to listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth. Watch the behavior that you execute and the experiences you keep having. These are the Google Maps to your beliefs. Whatever type of map you use, Google Maps, MapQuest, or the tried and true folding paper variety, a map provides direction from where you are to where you want to be. And the really cool thing about maps is they show the varying ways and the varying routes to where you want to go. Our interior maps give us insight into the beliefs that run beneath the surface. These beliefs are the stories we generate to create the experiences we're having. And here's another incredibly cool thing. When you change the story, you change your experience. But how do we even begin to change our story? If I were in Hollywood and needed to change a scene in the script, I'd enlist the aid of a writer. The writer knows the characters intimately. Each of us is the writer, the author of our story. The characters populating your story are younger and older versions of yourself. You know what happened to you during your childhood. You know how that affected you. You know your deepest desires for the future, who you want to become, where you want to go, and what you want to experience. You alone, and only you. By the same token, you get to rewrite the story if you don't like it, or continue what you're doing if you do. Let's start by looking at Act 1, Scene 1, characters, the youngest versions of yourself. They hold the key beliefs to our stories, plots, subplots, and antagonists. In the book, The Drama of the Gifted Child, author Alice Miller focuses on why so many externally successful people are plagued by feelings of emptiness and alienation. She says, quote, "Far too many adults today had to learn as children to hide feelings, needs, and memories in order to meet their parents' expectations and win their love." This ties in directly with the statement, "We are always solving for love and safety." In this case, the child may be asking, am I doing whatever it takes to meet my parents' expectations and win their love? Because when I do, I have the experience that I belong. And when I don't, I have the experience of shame. The late author and psychologist goes on to say, quote, "In what is described as depression and experienced as emptiness, futility, fear of impoverishment, and loneliness can usually be recognized as the tragic loss of the self in childhood, manifested as the total alienation from the self in the adult." Intercommunication integration, or ICI, is a very effective technique we use at iRestart to weave the fractured parts of younger versions of yourself back into your current self, back into the big picture, to help flesh out your complete story. If you were to ask 5 people to describe the quote-unquote same event, each person would offer a starkly different version, right? In much the same way, when you ask yourself at different ages about the same experience, say your parents' divorce, you will get different experiences and possibly very different feelings as well. For example, your 4-year-old may feel confused about your parents' divorce, whereas your 10-year-old may feel really hurt and angry. Having an actual compassionate and empathetic dialogue with each of these different ages of yourself is a simple and effective way to discover the stories or beliefs that are running beneath the surface and possibly creating unwanted experiences or even generating frustration and anxiety. I couldn't get past section 3 for more than a month, yet by listening to what was going on with my 4-year-old, I was able to surface a huge belief that I had no idea was running in my subconscious. Once I gave empathy to my 4-year-old, almost immediately I was able to sit down and write section 4. As coincidence would have it, section 4 is called Restarting. In section 1, the beginning, the spirituality lens video called Ancestral Beliefs shows how beliefs are influenced by external references. ICI is about uncovering the internal references running inside each of us all the time. Giving empathy and compassion to your internal ones is critical. In fact, I believe it's truly the only way to get unstuck from wherever you are. The younger versions of you that experience some form of trauma are looking for healing. Imagine right now skinning your knee as a kid. Isn't the very first thing you want is for someone to come over and make you feel better? Now that you're an adult, you need to realize that you and you alone are the only one who can console and heal your internal little ones. Once you begin to become the parents those injured little ones need, you will begin to nurture younger versions of yourself who are aching to be held, aching to be loved, supported, and comforted. Even if no one was there for you as a kid, your adult self can step in and connect with those younger selves and give that neglected child the love and protection she or he needs and has been missing. Once you realize you can rewrite your story, you will discover that you can change your experiences, and that is truly awesome.